Did you know that some of Hollywood's biggest stars have shocking secrets that almost never saw the light of day? From Harvey Weinstein's hidden decades of misconduct to Will Smith's unforgettable Oscars slap, these are the jaw-dropping stories that left fans speechless. Here are the 25 shocking scandals that Hollywood hid from Christians. 1. Harvey Weinstein's scandal. The New York Times and The New Yorker published reports that revealed Weinstein had been involved in sexually inappropriate behavior for decades. More than 80 women, including well-known actresses like Ashley Judd, Gwyneth Paltrow, Rose McGowan, and Angelina Jolie, came forward. They accused him of things like harassment and assault. Some allegations dated back 3 decades, and many stories shared similar patterns of Weinstein using his position to intimidate or silence people. Weinstein was accused of using his power to take advantage of young actresses and aspiring film professionals. Some reports mentioned him coercing women into uncomfortable situations and then threatening them to keep quiet. In many cases, non-disclosure agreements were used to cover up his behavior, and his legal team often threatened those who tried to speak out. In May 2018, Weinstein was arrested. Then, in February 2020, he was found guilty of third-degree inappropriate behavior and a first-degree criminal act. The judge sentenced him to 23 years in prison. Later, in 2022, he faced more charges in Los Angeles and was convicted again. 2. Kevin Spacey's allegations. It started when actor Anthony Rapp accused Spacey of making inappropriate advances toward him back in 1986, when Rapp was just 14 years old. Spacey responded by saying he didn't remember the incident, but apologized if it did happen. In the same statement, he also came out as gay, which many people saw as a way to distract from the serious accusation. After Rapp's story came out, more men began to share their experiences, accusing Spacey of similar inappropriate behavior. The stories described incidents that took place over many years, involving both minors and adults. Some of these accusations came from people who worked in the entertainment industry, while others were from outside it. As the allegations kept coming in, the fallout was massive. Netflix fired Spacey from House of Cards, and he was also cut from the movie All the Money in the World, with his scenes being reshot with another actor. He faced lawsuits and criminal charges in the US and the UK. While some of the cases were dropped, his career took a huge hit, and many people in the industry distanced themselves from him. In 2023, Spacey was found not guilty in a UK trial, where 4 men accused him of assault. Even though he won the case, his reputation remained damaged, and he hasn't returned to his previous level of success. 3. Woody Allen and Mia Farrow controversy. In 1992, Woody Allen's reputation took a huge hit when serious allegations surfaced involving his adopted daughter, Dylan Farrow. The controversy started when Mia Farrow, Allen's longtime partner, accused him of inappropriate behavior toward their adopted daughter, Dylan, who was just 7 at the time. The accusations came up during a heated custody battle after Mia discovered Allen was in a relationship with Soon-Yi Previn, Mia's adopted daughter from a previous relationship. This made the whole situation even more complicated and upsetting. Dylan Farrow has always maintained that Allen behaved inappropriately with her. She's talked about it publicly, sharing her story in interviews and open letters. On the other hand, Allen has always denied the allegations, claiming that Mia made up the story to get back at him during their custody fight. To investigate, a team from the Yale New Haven Hospital Child Sexual Abuse Clinic looked into the claims and concluded that Dylan was not mistreated. However, their methods were questioned, and some people felt the investigation wasn't thorough enough. In the end, no criminal charges were filed against Allen. Still, the judge in the custody case found Allen's behavior with Dylan to be grossly inappropriate and denied him custody of his children. Roman Polanski's case. One of the most serious incidents happened in 1977 when he was accused of inappropriate behavior with a young girl. The incident took place during a photo shoot at actor Jack Nicholson's house in Los Angeles. A 13-year-old girl named Samantha Geimer accused Polanski of giving her champagne and a sedative before engaging in inappropriate acts. She said she repeatedly told him to stop, but he didn't listen. The legal system got involved, and Polanski faced serious charges, including using drugs to commit the act and behaving inappropriately with a minor. To avoid a long prison sentence, Polanski made a deal where he pleaded guilty to 1 count of unlawful intercourse with a minor, while the other charges were dropped. Before he could be sentenced, Polanski heard that the judge might go back on the deal and give him a long sentence anyway. To avoid this, he fled to France in 1978, knowing that France usually doesn't extradite its citizens to the US for most crimes. Since then, Polanski has mostly lived in France, where he continued making movies and even won awards, like an Oscar for The Pianist in 2003. Bill Cosby's convictions. In 2014, a stand-up routine by comedian Hannibal Buress mentioned Cosby's troubling behavior, bringing old accusations into the spotlight. Soon after, dozens of women came forward, accusing Cosby of drugging and assaulting them. The incidents dated back to the 1960s, and more than 60 women shared similar stories. One of the most significant cases involved Andrea Constant, a former Temple University employee, who said that Cosby drugged and assaulted her in 2004. In 2015, Cosby was charged with aggravated indecent assault. During his trial in 2018, he was found guilty of 3 counts and sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison. This marked a major fall from grace for the once beloved entertainer. However, in 2021, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturned his conviction because of a legal issue. The court found that Cosby had relied on a previous agreement not to be prosecuted when he gave a testimony that was later used against him. Due to this, Cosby was released from prison. 6. Will Smith's Oscars slap. The Oscars are usually about celebrating movies and talent, but the 94th Academy Awards on March 27th, 2022, became memorable for a totally different reason. During the ceremony, comedian Chris Rock was presenting the award for Best Documentary when he made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head. He compared her look to G.I. Jane 2, referencing a movie where the main character has a shaved head. Jada, who has openly talked about her struggle with alopecia, a condition that causes hair loss, didn't look happy with the joke. At first, Will Smith was seen laughing, but suddenly he walked on stage and slapped Chris Rock across the face. After returning to his seat, he shouted, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth." The whole room went silent, as most people thought it was a planned skit, but it wasn't. The day after the incident, Will Smith apologized publicly on social media to Chris Rock, the Academy, and everyone watching. He explained that he acted out of emotion to protect his family. During his acceptance speech for Best Actor for his role in King Richard, Smith briefly mentioned the incident but didn't fully explain his actions. The Academy condemned Smith's behavior and started an investigation. Eventually, they banned him from attending any Oscars events for 10 years. Smith also resigned from the Academy before the decision was announced. Just when you thought Hollywood couldn't get any more shocking, wait until you hear about the actor whose downfall was so intense it almost ruined his entire career. Mel Gibson's anti-Semitic rant. Mel Gibson was once one of Hollywood's biggest stars, but his career took a hit in 2006 when he was arrested for driving under the influence, DUI, in Malibu, California. During the arrest, Gibson made some very offensive remarks, including blaming Jewish people for wars. The arresting officer, who was Jewish, reported that Gibson was aggressive and made hateful comments. This incident shocked many people because it showed a different side of the actor that they hadn't seen before. Gibson quickly issued a public apology, saying that his behavior was due to his struggles with alcoholism. He admitted that his words were hurtful and took responsibility. Afterward, he entered rehab to work on his addiction. Even though he apologized multiple times, the damage to his reputation was severe. For a while, Hollywood seemed to turn its back on Gibson. Many producers and directors avoided working with him, and his career basically stopped. It wasn't until years later that he made a bit of a comeback with movies like Hacksaw Ridge. Still, some people haven't forgotten his controversial past. 8. Lori Loughlin's college admissions scandal. Lori Loughlin was best known for playing Aunt Becky on Full House. She had a wholesome, family-friendly image, but that changed when she got caught up in a big college admissions scandal in March 2019. The scandal, called Operation Varsity Blues, exposed how wealthy parents were using money to get their kids into top colleges. Loughlin and her husband, fashion designer Mossimo Giannulli, were accused of paying $500,000 to Rick Singer, the person behind the scam. The money was meant to get their daughters, Olivia Jade and Isabella Giannulli, into the University of Southern California, USC, by pretending they were part of the rowing team, even though they didn't row. At first, Loughlin and Giannulli said they didn't know the payments were illegal and thought they were just donations. But as more evidence came out and public outrage grew, they changed their pleas to guilty in May 2020. Lori Loughlin was sentenced to 2 months in prison, a $150,000 fine, and 100 hours of community service. Her husband got a 5-month sentence, a $250,000 fine, and 250 hours of community service. Loughlin served her time from October to December 2020. 9. Michael Jackson's child misconduct allegations. Michael Jackson was one of the most famous pop stars ever, often called the King of Pop. He made incredible music and had a huge fan base, but his personal life was full of controversy. The most serious issue was the allegations of inappropriate behavior with children, which surfaced multiple times. The first major accusation came in 1993 when a 13-year-old boy named Jordan Chandler claimed Jackson behaved inappropriately with him at Neverland Ranch. Jackson denied the claims, but the case was settled out of court for $23 million. The settlement didn't mean he admitted guilt, but it made people suspicious. The most publicized case was in 2005 when another boy, Gavin Arvizo, accused Jackson of similar actions. The trial lasted for months, and the media covered every detail. Jackson maintained his innocence throughout. After a long legal battle, he was acquitted of all charges. The jury found inconsistencies in the accuser's story, which helped Jackson's defense. Years later, in 2019, the documentary Leaving Neverland featured two men, Wade Robson and James Safechuck, who claimed Jackson had abused them as children. The documentary reignited debates about Jackson's behavior, dividing fans and critics even more. Despite facing multiple accusations, Jackson was never convicted of any crime. Some people believe he was misunderstood and targeted because of his fame, while others think the accusations were too serious to ignore. After his death in 2009, a few lawsuits were filed against his estate, but many were dismissed or dropped. 10. Britney Spears' conservatorship battle. In 2008, after some public breakdowns and struggles with mental health, Britney was placed under a conservatorship. This meant her father, Jamie Spears, and a few others had control over her personal life, career, and money. A conservatorship is supposed to help someone who can't take care of themselves. But in Britney's case, it seemed too controlling. Jamie Spears made almost all the decisions for Britney, including her finances, career, medical care, and even personal choices. Britney claimed that she was forced to work against her will and couldn't make basic decisions, like removing an IUD to have more kids. Fans noticed Britney's strange social media posts and started the #Free Britney movement, saying the conservatorship was abusive. Things started changing in 2021 when Britney spoke to the court and described how bad the situation was. She said she wanted her life back and didn't want her father to control her anymore. After that, Jamie Spears was removed as her conservator in September 21. Finally, in November 21, the conservatorship ended after 13 long years. 11. R. Kelly's charges. For years, people accused him of abusing young girls and women, but nothing seemed to stick until the documentary Surviving R. Kelly came out in 2019. It showed how he allegedly used his fame to control and harm his victims. The accusations against R. Kelly were shocking. Victims said he would recruit young girls, groom them, and keep them isolated from their families. They described being manipulated, threatened, and mistreated. The charges against him included illegal transportation, producing illegal material, and using his fame to exploit minors. One of the most serious cases involved a video that allegedly showed him with an underage girl, but he was acquitted in 2008. In 2019, Kelly was arrested on multiple charges, including racketeering and exploiting minors. After a long trial, in September 2021, he was found guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison in 2022. Then, in 2023, he got another 20-year sentence for child exploitation charges, but some of the time would be served at the same time as his previous sentence. If you think that was wild, just wait. Up next, we're diving into a story about one of the most beloved pop stars who shocked the world with a single announcement, and it completely changed how fans saw him forever. 12. Charlie Sheen's HIV revelation. In November 2015, Charlie went on The Today Show and revealed something shocking. He was HIV positive. He said he had been diagnosed in 2011 and decided to speak out to end rumors and stop people from trying to blackmail him. Before he revealed his status, Charlie had been acting pretty wild. He was in the news a lot for his erratic behavior, relationships with adult film stars, and his catchphrases like winning and tiger blood. He even got fired from 2.5 Men after insulting the show's creator. When he announced he was HIV positive, it put some of his past actions into a new perspective. However, his admission also led to legal problems. Some of his ex-girlfriends accused him of not telling them about his diagnosis before being intimate. They filed lawsuits, saying he put them at risk. Charlie settled some of these cases out of court, but the damage to his reputation was done. After revealing his diagnosis, Charlie became an advocate for HIV awareness. He talked openly about his health and the importance of taking medication. He also admitted that he was tired of being blackmailed by people who knew his secret. O.J. Simpson's trial. O.J. Simpson was a famous football player, actor, and TV personality known as The Juice. But everything changed on June 12, 1994, when his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ron Goldman, were found dead outside Nicole's condo in Brentwood, Los Angeles. Both Nicole and Ron had been stabbed multiple times. Evidence found at the crime scene, including a bloody glove and footprints, seemed to link O.J. Simpson to the deaths. Shortly after, police tried to arrest him, but instead, O.J. led them on a low-speed car chase in a white Ford Bronco, driven by his friend Al Cowlings. The chase was broadcast live on TV, with millions of viewers watching. Eventually, O.J. surrendered at his home. The trial, known as the Trial of the Century, lasted from 1994 to 1995. O.J.'s defense team, led by Johnny Cochran and Robert Shapiro, argued that the evidence was tampered with and that O.J. was being framed because of racial bias. One of the most famous moments was when O.J. tried on a glove found at the scene, and it appeared too small. Cochran famously said, "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." On October 3, 1995, O.J. Simpson was acquitted, leaving many people shocked and divided. However, in a 1997 civil trial, he was found liable for the wrongful deaths of Nicole and Ron and was ordered to pay $33.5 million. 14. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's legal battles. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard got married in 2015, but divorced in 2017. After their split, Amber accused Johnny of being physically and emotionally abusive. She even filed a restraining order against him, which got a lot of media attention. In 2019, Johnny sued Amber for $50 million, claiming she lied about being mistreated. This lawsuit was triggered by an article she wrote where she described herself as a victim of domestic violence without mentioning Johnny's name. Johnny said that Amber was the real manipulator and that her accusations ruined his career. In 2020, Johnny sued the British newspaper The Sun for calling him a wife-beater. The court ruled against him, saying the paper's claims were substantially true. After losing, Johnny was dropped from major roles, including Fantastic Beasts. In 2022, the legal battle moved to the US. Depp sued Heard for defamation, and Heard countersued. The trial became a huge media event, with both sides presenting evidence like audio recordings, texts, and witness statements. Johnny claimed Amber hurt him by throwing a vodka bottle, while Amber claimed Johnny was violent. In June 2022, the jury sided mostly with Johnny, awarding him $10 million in damages, while Amber was awarded $2 million for one of her claims. Public support was mainly with Johnny, especially on social media. People saw the verdict as a win for male victims of domestic violence. 15. Armie Hammer's cannibalism allegations. Armie Hammer was once a rising star in Hollywood, known for movies like Call Me By Your Name and The Social Network. But in early 2021, shocking messages supposedly sent by him surfaced online. These messages talked about disturbing fantasies, including cannibalism, violent acts, and controlling behavior. People were shocked, and the internet went wild with reactions. Several women accused Armie of being manipulative and emotionally abusive. They said he used his charm to control them and pushed them into uncomfortable situations. One woman even accused him of assault, leading to a police investigation in Los Angeles. Hammer denied the allegations, saying all his relationships were consensual. After the scandal broke, Hammer's career pretty much fell apart. Big agencies dropped him, and he was replaced in major projects like Shotgun Wedding. In 2022, a documentary called House of Hammer came out, featuring interviews with his alleged victims and revealing troubling stories about his family's dark history. It painted a picture of generational issues within the Hammer family. 16. Chris Brown's assault on Rihanna. On February 8, 2009, just before the Grammy Awards, Chris Brown assaulted Rihanna during an argument in his car. They were reportedly fighting over a text message from another woman. The situation got out of hand, and Chris hit Rihanna multiple times, bit her, and even tried to choke her. Rihanna managed to call for help, and Chris fled the scene before being arrested later. Graphic photos of Rihanna's bruised face leaked online, causing outrage. Chris was charged with felony assault and making criminal threats. He took a plea deal, admitting to felony assault, and was sentenced to 5 years of probation, a year of counseling, and 6 months of community service. Even after completing his sentence, Chris's reputation was never the same. The incident had a huge impact on both their careers. Many radio stations stopped playing Chris's songs, and some brands dropped him as a spokesperson. While he continued to make music and rebuild his career, the controversy always followed him. Rihanna, on the other hand, became an even bigger star, but the public was shocked when she briefly reconciled with Chris in 2012. Ellen DeGeneres' toxic workplace allegations. Ellen DeGeneres was once considered the queen of daytime TV. Her show, The Ellen DeGeneres Show, was known for being fun, positive, and full of surprises. Ellen was famous for promoting kindness with her catchphrase, "Be kind to one another." But in 2020, things changed when former employees spoke out about a toxic work environment behind the scenes. The first allegations came from BuzzFeed News, where employees described a culture of fear and intimidation. They said that senior producers were involved in inappropriate behavior and that Ellen herself could be distant and unkind off-camera. Some staff members claimed they were treated unfairly for taking medical leave or dealing with family emergencies. At first, Ellen didn't say much, but after more stories came out, she publicly apologized. She admitted that things happened on her show that should not have occurred and promised to make changes. An internal investigation led to the firing of 3 top producers. Despite her apology, many fans felt betrayed because Ellen's public image didn't match the stories being told. The controversy hurt the show's ratings and Ellen's reputation. In 2021, Ellen announced that the show would end after its 9th season, saying she wanted to move on. Some viewers felt that the scandal played a part in the decision, even though Ellen didn't directly admit it. And the surprises don't stop here. Coming up, we'll reveal a scandal involving a Hollywood icon whose personal life took a dark turn, leaving fans questioning everything they thought they knew. 18. Paul Walker's relationship with a minor. Paul Walker was a beloved actor, best known for his role as Brian O'Connor in the Fast and Furious movies. Tragically, he passed away in a car crash in 2013 at the age of 40. After his death, some details about his personal life started to come out, including his relationship with Jasmine Pilchard Gosnell. It was reported that Paul and Jasmine began dating around 2006, when Jasmine was just 16 years old and Paul was 33. They stayed together for about 7 years until his passing. At the time of his death, Jasmine was 23 years old. Although the relationship raised eyebrows due to the age gap, Jasmine and her family never spoke negatively about it. In fact, Jasmine was heartbroken after his passing and was seen as a loving partner. The news didn't cause as much outrage as other scandals involving minors because many people still saw Paul Walker as a good person. He was admired for his charity work and kindness, so the relationship was not heavily criticized. Some fans even defended him, saying that since Jasmine and her family didn't complain, it wasn't fair to judge. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's custody battle. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were one of Hollywood's most famous couples, often called Brangelina. They met while filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith in 2005 and eventually got married in 2014. They have 6 kids together, 3 of whom are adopted. However, in September 2016, Angelina filed for divorce, saying they had irreconcilable differences. She also wanted full physical custody of their children. The divorce battle became even more intense when Jolie accused Pitt of being physically abusive during an incident on a private jet in 2016. Reports said that Pitt was drinking and got into a heated argument, during which he allegedly became physical with their oldest son, Maddox. The FBI and the Los Angeles County Department of Children and Family Services investigated Pitt for child mistreatment, but found no evidence of wrongdoing. Even after being cleared, Angelina continued to fight for sole custody, while Brad wanted joint custody. The custody battle went on for years, with both sides sharing their perspectives through legal documents. In 2021, a judge granted Pitt joint custody, but Jolie challenged the decision, arguing that the judge had professional connections with Pitt's legal team. As a result, the ruling was overturned. Marilyn Manson's allegations. Marilyn Manson, born Brian Warner, is a controversial rock musician known for his shocking image and dark music. He's been famous for years, but in 2021, his life took a serious turn when actress Evan Rachel Wood accused him of abuse. Wood had previously talked about surviving domestic violence, but never named Manson until that year. Wood claimed that Manson groomed her when she was a teenager and subjected her to emotional, physical, and even forced intimacy. After she spoke out, several other women also came forward, including actress Esme Bianco, accusing Manson of similar behavior. They described feeling manipulated and controlled, saying he would threaten them and make them do things they weren't comfortable with. Manson denied all the allegations, calling them distortions of reality. He said that his relationships were always consensual and that people were just trying to ruin his career. Despite his denial, the fallout was quick. His record label, Loma Vista Recordings, dropped him, and he was removed from TV projects like American Gods. Many celebrities also distanced themselves from him. Tiger Woods' cheating scandal. Tiger Woods is one of the most successful golfers ever. He dominated the sport for years and became a global sports icon. However, in November 2009, his life took a major hit when he crashed his SUV outside his house. Soon after, rumors began spreading about his personal life, and it turned out that Woods had been unfaithful to his wife, Ellen Nordegren. After the crash, multiple women came forward, claiming they had affairs with Woods. These women included cocktail waitresses, nightclub hostesses, and adult film stars. As more women spoke up, the number of alleged affairs grew to more than a dozen. Woods, who was once seen as a family man, quickly became the center of a huge scandal. On December 2, 2009, Woods publicly apologized, admitting to making mistakes and expressing regret. He announced that he would take a break from golf to focus on his family. Despite his efforts, Ellen filed for divorce, and they officially split in August 2010. She reportedly received around $100 million in the settlement. The scandal hurt Woods' career badly. Major brands like Gatorade, Gillette, and AT&T ended their endorsement deals, costing him millions. On the golf course, Woods struggled to regain his form, and many people thought his career was over. Alec Baldwin's accidental shooting on set. On October 21, 2021, a tragic incident happened on the set of the movie Rust in New Mexico. Actor Alec Baldwin accidentally shot and killed cinematographer Halyna Hutchins while rehearsing a scene. The film's director, Joel Souza, was also injured in the accident. Baldwin was practicing a scene that involved pointing a prop gun at the camera when it went off unexpectedly. The gun used was a Colt .45 revolver, which was supposed to contain dummy rounds. Somehow, a real bullet was loaded instead. Armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed and assistant director Dave Halls were responsible for handling the weapons on set. Reports said that Halls handed Baldwin the gun, saying it was cold, safe to use. Sadly, Hutchins was airlifted to a hospital, but didn't survive. Souza was injured, but made it through. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office investigated how a live bullet ended up on the set. Baldwin cooperated fully and stated that he didn't pull the trigger, claiming the gun went off on its own. In January 23, Baldwin was charged with involuntary manslaughter, but the charges were dropped in April 23. The armorer still faces charges related to negligence. 23. Jeffrey Epstein's ties to Hollywood elites. Jeffrey Epstein was a wealthy financier known for his connections with powerful and famous people, including celebrities, politicians, and billionaires. However, his dark secret came to light in 2019 when he was arrested for illegal transportation of minors in Florida and New York. Epstein was accused of running a huge trafficking ring where underage girls were exploited. Epstein was known to throw extravagant parties attended by some of Hollywood's elite and other influential figures. Some celebrities linked to Epstein included Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, and even Britain's Prince Andrew. Although not everyone associated with him was involved in criminal activities, just being connected to Epstein raised eyebrows. Epstein was found dead in his jail cell on August 10, 2019, and his death was officially ruled a suicide. However, many people didn't believe it, and conspiracy theories spread, mainly because Epstein knew many powerful people. His close associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, was later convicted in 2021 for illegal transportation and helping Epstein in his crimes. 24. Lindsay Lohan's public downfall. Lindsay Lohan was once a beloved child star known for movies like The Parent Trap and Mean Girls. In the early 2000s, she was one of Hollywood's most promising young actresses. However, her career took a downturn as her personal struggles became more public than her acting. In 2007, Lindsay's troubles became more noticeable when she was arrested twice for DUI and cocaine possession within 3 months. In 2008, she missed court-ordered substance abuse counseling, leading to a brief time in jail. In 2010, she was sentenced to 90 days in jail for violating probation related to a DUI case. From 2011 to 2012, Lindsay faced multiple arrests for theft, probation violations, and even a battery charge. A major reason for Lindsay's downfall was her struggle with substance abuse, including alcohol and drugs. Her unpredictable behavior and frequent absences from film sets led to producers dropping her from projects. On top of that, intense media attention and family issues made things even worse. Fans were initially sympathetic, hoping she would get better, but after so many incidents, some people lost patience. The media often made fun of her instead of showing support, which only made her situation harder. Justin Bieber's DUI and racist remarks. Justin Bieber is a pop superstar who became famous as a teenager with songs like Baby and Sorry. But in 2014, his image took a hit when he was arrested for DUI in Miami Beach. He was caught drag racing in a rented Lamborghini, and when the police stopped him, he failed a sobriety test. Justin admitted to drinking alcohol, using prescription medication, and smoking marijuana. He was briefly jailed and later released on bail. Around the same time, old videos of Justin making racist jokes resurfaced online. In one clip, he used the N-word while making a joke, and in another, he sang a parody song with a racial slur. These videos caused major backlash, as many people were disappointed in his behavior. Justin quickly apologized, saying he was young and didn't understand the impact of his words. He admitted to being immature and asked for forgiveness from his fans and the black community. He said he learned from his mistakes and promised to do better. What do you think about these scandals? Let us know in the comments below. If you found these stories surprising or thought-provoking, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe for more eye-opening stories from the world of celebrities and entertainment.